The moment the Filipino siblings step onto the America's Got Talent stage, the entire atmosphere shifts in a way that's almost impossible to put into words. They walk out slowly, their fingers intertwined tightly, as if holding on to the only source of strength they truly trust, each other. The bright stage lights cast a soft glow on their young, nervous faces, making their expressions a blend of fear, hope, and quiet determination. The brother, slightly shorter and younger, holds a wooden guitar pressed against his chest like a shield, its polished surface reflecting the beams of blue and white lighting. His hands tremble slightly, but he keeps them steady for his sister's sake. The sister, a little older and clearly more protective, gently rubs her thumb across the back of his hand in a calming gesture that only siblings who have shared years of struggles could understand. As they reach the center of the stage, a hush falls over the entire room. Even the usually loud and excitable crowd goes silent, sensing the sincerity radiating from the two. The judges study them with growing curiosity. Sophia leans forward, Heidi smiles softly, and Simon, always the hardest to impress, tilts his head, already intrigued by their fragile confidence. When the host announces their names and that they are siblings from the Philippines, a warm murmur sweeps through the audience, people already rooting for them before hearing a single note. They introduce themselves in gentle, slightly shaky voices. Every word feels honest, unpolished, and straight from the heart. The sister explains that they have been singing together since they were very young, and that music has helped them through some of the hardest times in their lives. The audience listens closely, sensing that behind those nervous smiles hides a deeper story. The brother glances up at his sister, silently asking if she's ready, and she gives him the smallest nod, one filled with love, reassurance, and shared courage. As the stage lights narrow into a warm spotlight just above them, the moment becomes intimate despite the thousands watching. A deep breath passes between the two, the kind that settles nerves and invites courage. The brother adjusts his guitar strap, the sister places her hand over her heart, and the world waits. Everything about this moment feels delicate, pure, and full of promise, like the quiet inhale right before something magical begins. The moment the brother's fingers touch the strings, a delicate chord flows into the air, soft but powerful enough to make the room freeze. It isn't loud, it isn't flashy, yet it carries a warmth that instantly captures the audience's attention. The sound vibrates through the theater like a quiet promise of something extraordinary. Before anyone can process the beauty of that first note, the sister steps in with her voice, a gentle, trembling melody that feels almost too pure for such a massive stage. Her tone is soft at first, like she's testing the air, but even in its softness, it holds a haunting emotional weight that makes people sit up straighter in their seats. The crowd's murmurs fade into complete silence. It's as if the entire room forgot to breathe. Those nearest to the stage blink slowly, stunned by how effortlessly the girl pours emotion into each word. Her voice is smooth and controlled, touched with a raw sincerity that makes even the back rows feel close to her. And then, almost on cue, her brother joins in. His voice blends into hers with a surprising maturity, deep, warm, and perfectly balanced. The harmony they create is so natural, so flawless, that it feels like their souls are singing rather than just their voices. Simon's reaction is instant. His eyebrows rise, his posture straightens, and a rare expression of genuine disbelief washes over his face. It's clear he expected something simple from two young siblings, but what he's hearing is far beyond that. Heidi shifts to the edge of her seat, her smile slowly widening as she listens. Sophia places a hand over her chest, visibly moved. Even Howie, often analytical, can't hide the shock in his eyes. With each line, the siblings grow more confident, feeding off each other's energy. Their harmony tightens, their connection deepens, and their voices soar together with an emotional power that seems too big for their age. The theater lights subtly adjust, casting warm gold and soft blue hues across the stage, turning the moment into something almost cinematic. Audience members glance at one another with wide, stunned eyes, silently asking if everyone else is feeling what they're feeling. The performance has only just begun, yet it already feels like something unforgettable is happening, something the entire world will talk about. As the song moves into its emotional core, a subtle shift takes place on stage, one that everyone in the room can feel before they even understand it. The siblings exchange a quick, silent glance, the kind that carries years of shared experiences, unspoken memories, and battles fought side by side. The brother tightens his grip on the guitar, strumming with a new intensity, while the sister steps half a pace forward, her voice lifting into a richer, more powerful tone. What began as a gentle performance now begins to swell into something breathtaking. The lights above them slowly brighten into warm golds and deep ambers, bathing the stage in a glow that amplifies every emotion pouring out of their voices. The sister reaches a higher note, her voice trembling with passion, and the audience reacts instantly. People in the front row press their hands against their mouths, unable to hold back the tears forming in their eyes. Her voice carries a depth that feels lived in, like she's opening a door into her heart and letting thousands of strangers walk inside. Just as the audience thinks the moment can't get any more powerful, the brother joins her again, this time with a harmony so perfectly timed, so beautifully aligned with hers that it feels like the two are breathing the same breath. His voice adds weight and warmth, grounding her soaring high notes with a tenderness that only a sibling could provide. Together, they create a sound so emotional and so unexpectedly mature that the entire theater is left in awe. The judges are visibly stunned. Heidi's eyes widen as she gently wipes a tear from her cheek, her smile soft but full of disbelief. Sophia shakes her head repeatedly, amazed at how such young performers can channel such pain and beauty at the same time. Howie leans in, his expression a mix of admiration and astonishment. And Simon, normally composed and analytical, sits completely still, watching them with an intensity reserved only for the rarest performers. His eyes glisten just slightly, though he tries to hide it behind a deep exhale. As the siblings push into the climax, their voices rise together in a breathtaking final blend, powerful, aching, and full of everything they've ever wanted to say but never knew how. The sound fills every corner of the theater like a wave, crashing over the audience and sweeping them into the siblings' world. When that final high note breaks free, soaring into the rafters, it feels like the entire room is vibrating with emotion. For a long second, time stands still. The music fades, but the emotion lingers, heavy and beautiful, holding everyone captive. In that moment, it's clear, this isn't just a performance. It's a breakthrough, one that people will never forget. As the final note disappears into the stillness of the theater, a silence settles over the room that feels almost sacred. The siblings stand frozen in place, their chests rising and falling as they struggle to steady their breathing. They look at each other with wide, trembling eyes, unsure of what happens next. The stage lights soften into a gentle golden hue, reflecting off the lingering emotion on their faces. For a moment, they seem like two small figures standing against an enormous world, but a world that has just fallen completely in love with them. Then, suddenly, the entire audience erupts. The applause crashes through the theater like a thunderstorm. People jump to their feet instantly, cheering, crying, shouting their names. The siblings flinch at the overwhelming sound, but then their faces break into tearful smiles. The sister covers her mouth, stunned, while the brother clutches his guitar to his chest like it's the only thing keeping him grounded. Confetti hasn't even fallen yet, but emotion already fills the air as if the whole room is celebrating something extraordinary. On the judges' panel, the reactions are just as intense. Heidi stands up first, clapping with both hands pressed close to her heart. Sophia wipes the corner of her eye, shaking her head in disbelief as she points at the siblings, mouthing the word beautiful. Howie leans back in his chair, visibly moved, as though he's still processing the magnitude of what he's just witnessed. But it's Simon who captures the moment entirely. He rises slowly from his seat, not dramatic, not rushed, but with a kind of quiet certainty that immediately silences the crowd. His eyes stay fixed on the siblings as if he's seeing something rare, something almost historic. The siblings notice and instinctively step closer to each other, sensing that something big is coming. Simon takes a breath, his expression softening in a way the audience rarely sees. Then, without breaking eye contact, he reaches forward and slams the golden buzzer. The theater explodes. A blast of shimmering gold confetti pours from above, swirling down like a shower of dreams finally coming true. The siblings gasp, then break into uncontrollable tears.